I have got the perfect story. No one's heard this story apart from my wife. so, I got the job for Time magazine.
Yeah.
That was to shoot a feature in the USA in Indianapolis. So I flew over there, uh, and I got in rather easily for a change. It's always nice when you go to America. And my excuse was, like I'm here for the NASCAR racing. That's why I've got my cameras. I'm here for that. And it was like, yeah, yeah, great. I was like, yeah, So I get the brief, and me being very, is it stubborn or just focusing on my look in terms of like the aesthetic that I wanted. I I only had my medium format analog camera. And obviously, because I'm in America, stupidly now, uh, but back then I was like, yeah, look, there's going to be loads of labs in America. I'm going to shoot the film and it's going to be great. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fantastic. So I have to shoot, I think, 3 or 4 people. Um, so I get that done. That all went well. The engagement with the participants was fantastic. The mood was good. I knew, like I had an idea of the mood I was kind of going for visually. And then it came to getting the film processed. And obviously, most of the time when you work for magazines like Time Magazine, they want the images yesterday. So it's like, okay, I can have this turned around in a day, maximum 2 days. They were okay with that. So now I need to find a lab.
Yeah.
So I'm checking Google for labs. There's no local labs. I'm like, this is a bit strange, what's going on. And then I find a lab, but the lab is like 80 miles away from where I'm staying. So I drive down there and I'm all excited because I found the lab, and I know that the lab is going to have superbly clean chemicals, great machinery, everything will be great. I walk in, and there's a young lady at the counter. And as soon as I saw her and the equipment, tiny alarm bells started to ring in my head. So I asked them, like, are your chemicals maintained and all this? Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're all maintained. They're great. They're fantastic. I said, okay, cool. Gave them the film, drove back 80 miles. The next day, I drive back down and I get the film back. And I'm like looking at the negs. Like there's like the exposures are all off. Oh yeah, we had some problems with the machine.
Wow.
I was like, what? Okay, nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. There was something on the negs. It just wasn't the density that I'm used to. Anyway, next step. Need to get them scanned. Of course, I'm in America. Everyone's got a scanner. Scanners are available everywhere. Of course not. Of course not. Why would a scanner be available? There's a certain type of scanner you need when you scan film. Well, there's a few different types. No one had them. Then I call up one organization. Yep, we've got one. You can borrow it. Last minute. Oh no, something's happened. You can't use it. Then I call the Library of Indianapolis, begging, like crying on the phone, like, do you have anything that I can use to scan film? The lady goes, yeah, we do. I said, what have you got? Oh, we've got a Nikon scanner. I was like, oh my God, thank you. Thank you. Now I get there. Obviously, you can't have everything. There was no glass holder, so the negs wouldn't stay flat. Anyway, I scan. I get the best out of the scanner. Um, the images are very moody. They are very grainy. I send them off to the editors at time, and then I don't hear anything back for like 3 days. And I kid you not, Sabir, I am almost in tears. I'm like, they've seen these images, they don't like them. This was the chance I had, and I've blown it. Everyone's gonna know that I can't be trusted. And then when things were getting really low and I was sweating, I didn't sleep, I didn't eat, I was highly anxious, and I was dripping with sweat for at least 24 hours, like at least. Then I get a email. Hey Inza, these are amazing. We love them. I showed them to the head photo editor.
Wow.
She is loving them. We love the mood. We love the grain. I'm like, yep, that's exactly what I was going for. So I guess to an extent, the moral is that, as long as you get something and you can make it work,
Mm.
just go with it. Just go with it. Because at the end of the day, look, there's nothing more you can do.
Yeah.
Your intent, commitment, your perseverance was all 200%.
Mm.
Like if the images are not 100, but they're 85, you can make up the shortfall when you scan them, and like you work on the images in Photoshop in some way, which I did. Not much, but I did. And the images you see on the website, they are the images that I sent them.
Right. Yeah, no, that's an amazing story. And that story actually really resonated with me because over the years, and this has kind of been somewhat my downfall at times, is that I'm always trying to be as close as possible to this idea of perfection. But the truth is sometimes it's just not possible due to external factors. And I often used to put myself down whenever that used to happen, blaming myself. But it's really nice hearing that perspective from you. Because like you said, it doesn't matter how hard you try, sometimes things happen and you just have to adapt.
Yeah, totally. And your point about this idea of perfection. I
mm,
mean, like it took me a long time to let go of that. I would say only
yeah.
in the last year I let
Mm,
go of this illusion of perfection, because it is an
right.
illusion.
Yeah.
I mean, look, even, so for example, if you could achieve perfection, then what?
Then what? Exactly. Yeah.
Like, where do you go from there? There's nowhere else to go because you've reached it. So for me, it's about the journey, and the
Mm,
processes are far more valuable than this ludicrous idea about, oh, it has to be perfect, or I can't show anyone because like the color's slightly off.
mm,
Like ultimately these
yeah.
days, especially like in the photographic industry, not a lot of people know, and not a lot of people care. you know so do yourself a favor, let go,
Mm,
let things out, throw your work out there, throw yourself out there. Life is all a learning experience. Like there's no such thing as perfection. It's simply an illusion.